Hey, I'm gonna teach you how to deal with trolls, how to make them essentially irrelevant in the game, and how to win a 4v5, okay? So, many times you queue up for ranked, and straight away in the lobby you encounter someone who clearly declares that he's gonna troll. He might troll, feed, AFK, or something else that'll ruin your game, right? So this isn't fun, obviously, and most of the time, especially if it's ranked, we'd leave the game to save us the trouble of having to, go through a feeder, go through our enemy mid laner being 20-0, something like that. But what most people don't realize is a lot of times people troll like this to actually get you to dodge because they've queued up without realizing that they have to go to school or something, or they're just pissed off at the slightest thing. So let me explain. I've personally trolled a lot. I used to consider it fun to see people lose. Other people would consider winning fun and working together as a group, but I consider it fun to ruin the experience of someone worthy of it. Now, I didn't just pick people off and be like, okay, you're a faggot, so I'm gonna troll you. I didn't create these targets right away, but I'd attack people who did it to themselves. Or in other words, the assholes that call people up for no reason. The assholes for no reason, call you faggot for being 0-1, for dying once, for accidentally CSing, stealing your CS, something like that. So other times I'd troll even if nobody did anything to cause it. And as a result of my trolling, people would then bring out the assholes in themselves, calling me all sorts of names and shit. Now, I don't really care about being called a cancerous faggot or being told to go to the kitchen and find the largest knife and impale it through my stomach. At the time, I only cared about making people lose that I felt deserved to lose, I still don't care about the words or any of that. But what you should realize is I would often troll just to troll. Even if nobody talked, I would troll just because I wanted to find a target. I wanted somebody to be like, what the fuck are you doing? I wanted somebody to be that asshole so I could troll them. And that's what I did, because people actually do that. People literally respond to it. And the key to avoiding it is to not respond to it. So that's how you do it. So how do you avoid being the target of someone like me? Don't bring it upon yourself. Don't talk. Right? Just ignore it. So oftentimes, especially if you're in a certain league division, such as Bronze 5, Gold 5, Diamond 5, something like that, if you keep playing in that same division and you can't get out, you'll encounter the same people at one point in time, especially if you keep playing at the same time every day. So for example, say I play ranked every Friday, 2 p.m. Eastern time, every Friday at 2 p.m. Eastern time. And one Friday, I happen to get queued up with XX Weed Wizard 420XX on the other team, right? On the other team, not on my team, on the other team. And I end up annoying him or pissing him off because at the end of the game I said something like GG noobs are easy because I thought it was easy and I'm being an asshole for no reason. Now, you may think I'd have nothing to do with him ever again, I'd probably never see him again, so I can say easy. It's not like he's ever going to do anything to me, right? But if I keep playing on Fridays at 2 p.m. Eastern time, I'm probably likely to encounter XX Weed Wizard 420XX. Because he probably skips school every Friday and plays League all day or something. Or maybe he's just, he's a college student. He doesn't have class that time, so he can play that time. So one of those times, he's probably going to be on my team as opposed to any enemy team. If I find him again, he might actually be on my team for once. And a lot of people actually remember how you treated them before. So XX Weed Wizard 420XX will probably remember that I said easy at the end of a game that happened a week ago. And begin to troll in the lobby. So, he might announce it oh, you're that fucker who pissed me off that one game. Good luck, faggot. You're gonna lose this game. 4v5 AFK push mid, yeah. So he might do it subtly. He might not even announce it. He'll pick a normal champion. He'll pick his normal spells, Flash Ignite. He'll pick his normal Runes Masteries, 2109, Armor, AD, whatever. But as soon as we get in the game, he's gonna rush mid and feed. Why? Why is he going to do that? Because I was an asshole to him once, for no reason, at one point in time, and he remembers it. And, for no reason, there's no reason you should say easy at the end of the game. Just say GG, don't capitalize it, don't make it all fancy, because that's what pisses people off at times. So other times, as I mentioned before, there are the people who queue up and then happen to remember that they got somewhere to be or someone to do, someone to fuck, whatever. But it's too late to decline the match because they've already hit accept. Right? So you hit play, you hit Summoner's Rift rank game, you get a 2-minute queue time, and you hit accept. And then your mom comes behind you, you're like, baby, you gotta go to school? And you're like, oh shit, it's 8 a.m. I have school in 50 minutes. So you're in the lobby now, and you clearly state you're going to feed, or someone else clearly states they're going to feed because they're the ones that have to go somewhere. They're the ones that have school in 50 minutes, right? So they pick teleport and smite, right? And they say they're going to steal the jungler's buffs and feed it to the enemy mid laner so he can snowball and lose your team the game. They're going to try to say everything they can to make you think that they're going to fuck the game up so hard that you're going to lose, right? They do this because they don't want the game to happen. They don't want you to ignore them. They don't want you to actually play through the game. Because if you do, then they actually have to suffer through it because they actually have to go to school. So either they have to dodge to be able to go to school or they have to play the game. And they're probably not going to be able to play well or play at all because they have to go to school. So it's a loss for them, right? And they don't want to lose their promotional series. You know, they just won 2 out of 3 games. They're probably going to be silver if they win another one. But they got to go to school and they can't dodge because otherwise they lose their promo. So they want you to do it. They want you to dodge, right? Whether or not you want to try this method, I don't really care. It works. I've done it before. It works. People fall for it because it frightens their mental state. When people go into rank, they treat it pretty highly. You know, that you treat ranked higher than you treat normal, obviously. And if something was to disrupt that state, such as a troll, someone will probably get scared because they don't want to lose and thus they'll dodge. Regardless, what you should do is you should ignore that person. Just to completely ignore him. I've seen people tell other people to ignore him, people like that, and they still don't. I don't know why. So don't say a single word in the chat because if he's an actual troll, saying something like STFU or shut the fuck up will probably feed him and aggravate him. So if you remember that 50 Cent song where he talks about, you know, fat kids eating cake, 50's exactly right, man. Take a fat ass kid, right? And you give him a shit ton of cake, right? Keep giving that shit to him and he'll grow to love it. He'll come to accept it and he'll come to expect it, right? He'll come up to you, he'll be like, yo, where's my cake? Where's my cake, you know? Trolls are similar to that. You know, they feed on people getting pissed off, and if people get pissed off, if they keep getting pissed off or annoyed, they'll prosper and thrive. The trolls will prosper and thrive. The key to dealing with the trolls is to shut the fuck up, just shut up completely and ignore them. Don't say a single word to them. Don't tell them to be quiet. Just ignore it. Don't press your enter button. Just ignore it, right? Because if you don't feed the fat kid cake, he'll get skinnier, maybe. Or if you begin to feed him other things such as donuts, he'll still get fat because whether it's cake or whether it's donuts, he's still getting a chance to eat. So even if you ignore the troll, for example, and say nothing to them, you can still piss them off in a variety of ways, you know. So completely shut them out by actually announcing that you've muted them, whether you have or not. This encourages a troll to be like, oh, okay, you muted me? You actually muted me, huh? Either you didn't mute me and you just said it, or I'm gonna troll because now I think you're an asshole. So I don't really care if you muted me or not. I'm trolling, you know? You actually brought it upon yourself now. Is there any reason you should actually tell people that you muted them? No, you've muted them. And you can't see their text anymore, so why should you tell them? You've actually muted them. You've accomplished the mute. So shut the fuck up about it and keep playing. They don't want to know that you've muted them. Like, it pisses people off. And if you announce it to the wrong person, they might go on a quest to make you lose the game because they're pissed off because you actually had to announce it to them. And now they think of you as an asshole for doing so. So as I've said, one of the best things to do is just ignore them. Just completely zone them out and focus on winning. Press the enter button in the game and type these words to your other team. You know, the other people on your team. Guys, please shut the fuck up. Who cares if he trolls? You know, we can still win this game even if he trolls. Most of the time, when there's a troll, there will be a few or all of your teammates will just start crying and whining. When you tell them that you actually can win a 4v5, they'll try to argue with you, they'll become annoyed because you have a different philosophy than them, etc. You know, these people spend so much time typing in the game as opposed to playing. You know, like, if they spent half the time that they spend typing to you, like, shut the fuck up, we can't win, it's 4v5, they have Cassidy, he's 10-0, we can't win. If they use that time to fucking play, they probably could beat that Cassidy and win the game. I guarantee if you somehow get these people to just play the game and quit worrying about a troll and to stop typing, I guarantee you will be able to win most of your 4v5s. Because that's one of the biggest problems in why people can't win 4v5s, because they keep typing about why they can't, as opposed to actually playing. And, you know, sometimes you actually can't win a 4v5, and that's the nature of being one man down in any game. Like, if in soccer, one of your teammates gets a fucking red card, 10 versus 11, you know, it sucks. You can win it, but it sucks. Sometimes you can't if you're playing against, like, Bayern Munich. Other times, if you cooperate, you can definitely overcome the enemy. You can definitely beat them, because you can just use psychology to overpower the enemy as well. And I'll teach you how to do that. Say you queued up for ranked, right? You know, it's in the morning, you just woke up an hour ago, you took a shower, you ate breakfast, you ate your little cinnamon toast crunch, you have your little Mountain Dew, and you're like, you know what, let me play ranked, alright? Let me play ranked. I'm 1 win away from my series, I could probably do it, and if I win, bronze motherfucking 4, let's go. So you get in rank, you wait for that cute time, you accept that shit, you get into the lobby and you're like ADC pref, right? Your first pick ADC pref. But at the same time, another guy says ADC pref. But you say you called it first, and you actually did call it first. You called it literally 2 seconds before he did. And pick order prevails because you're first pick and he's the absolute last pick, right? But he'll have nothing of it. He'll have nothing of it. He'll absolutely refuse to allow you to ADC because he believes he has rightfully earned the chance to play ADC. And why shouldn't he? He called it first, which he didn't. But regardless, even if you pick Ezreal, he's gonna, you know, once he's able to pick, he's gonna pick like insta-lock Vayne or some other ADC. Like, he's gonna insta-lock fucking Urgot. He's gonna insta-lock Sivir because he's only playing ADC. He's not playing anything else. He has in his mind that you're an asshole, you stole ADC from him, so he gets to play ADC, which he should, rightfully, right? Now you've made yourself an enemy. You can go ahead and be like, what the fuck? The rest of your team, you can type, what the fuck? Because you're like, what the fuck is this guy doing? It's ranked, he's trolling, I can't win my series, I'm about to go into my series, now I'm not going to be able to because of this troll. Or you can tell your team to shut the fuck up. And you can shut the fuck up yourself because regardless of whether or not he trolls, you can still win. So, you get into the game and you've actually pissed him off by saying that you can win a 4v5, or you've pissed him off by picking ADC, or you've pissed him off by saying WTF after he insta-locked Vayne, right? You've pissed him off because either that or you're ignoring him, right? You're just completely ignoring him, but he wants a response. He wants that cake. He wants those donuts because if he doesn't, he'll get skinnier. He'll lose the battle. Keep doing it. Trust me, keep ignoring him because he's probably going to become angry and wants to claim vengeance on you because of that, because you're ignoring him, because you picked ADC, because you first picked Ezreal after he, you know, called it first, which he didn't. So he's going to rush mid. He's going to rush mid and feed the mid laner. He's going to feed the mid laner or wherever you are. He's going to feed your ADC. He's going to feed fucking Shyvana top or something. And what he's looking for is for one of you, or you in particular, to be like, dude, what the fuck are you doing? Please stop. You might not even say sorry, which will piss him off because you're just being an asshole. You're just like, what the fuck are you doing? Fuck out of my lane, bitch. Or you might even, you know, take a little nicer approach. You're like, please stop, I'm sorry. But regardless of whether response you give him, it's a response he wants to get. So he's going to keep doing it because you're responding, because he can see that you're being affected by what he's doing, right? So he's doing it to get a response, or maybe he's just bored, you know, like maybe he just used whatever he did in the lobby as an excuse to become a troll. Like maybe he's just bored, he's on a smurf or something. But regardless of whether or why he's doing it, don't say anything. Just don't say anything to him. The enemy Kassadin is 3-0, right? Because of this guy, this feeding Vayne, going into mid and feeding Kassadin, right? Just leave it alone. Who cares? Who the fuck cares? Don't complain about it, okay? So if you're the jungler, just pay some attention to Kassadin so he doesn't go ganking the other lanes. Or what you should do is tell Heimerdinger, who is your actual mid, if you're not mid, to hold on and not die while you go into another lane to help them out. If it's 4v5 because of a feeder and you're a jungler, go help bot because they're probably 1v2ing down bot. They don't have a support. They don't have an ADC because of that feeding Vayne rushing mid. Or if it's top and nobody's there, go take top. You know, if nobody's there, the enemy top laner gets a free lane. And you don't want to do that. So just ignore the jungle. Go. It's a 4v5, so you've got to do it. And now you see Kassadin, the enemy mid laner, who's getting free kills left and right. He's 4-0, he's 5-0, 6-0, 7-0, 8-0, 9-0, etc. And he's going to keep feeding that Kassadin. But eventually he might just stop an AFK, or, you know, eventually he might actually stop and start actually helping you. You'll see it a lot. People do this because they realize they're not going to get a response if they keep doing it. And going mid each time and feeding the enemy is actually taking too much work because he's doing this work. He is respawning after each death. You know, he's probably buying some items. He's actually having to take the time to click on the minimap, to walk to the mid lane, to announce to Kassadin to come mid and kill him. But he's not getting a response. He's not getting a response. And like I said, going to mid each time and feeding the enemy is taking too much work. And oftentimes, even if the trolls don't want to lose, because they realize that they're not only wasting the time of their teammates, they're also wasting their own time. They're wasting their own time because they're not getting a response. They're doing it because they want a response. And that's how they can justify using the time to troll. But now that they don't get a response, what are they going to do? So trolls feel special if they piss someone off, and the only reason they're trolling is to piss someone off, but they don't seem to be actually pissing anyone off. And trolls feel special if they piss someone off, and by ignoring them, you're cutting off their source of food. You're making them starve. You've essentially blockaded their ports, and you're making them starve like the British did to the fucking Germans in World War I. So eventually the troll might just stop feeding. He'll stop, or he might not in some cases, but most of the time I've seen it, I've done it. He'll stop and he'll start playing normally. He may not communicate with you because he's still kind of pissed off at you, but he'll stop because he's not getting a response. And now you'll notice he's actually trying. In this circumstance, when you see this, ignore him. Still continue to ignore him. Don't say anything. Don't say anything, because if you're like, oh, so you finally decided to stop feeding, huh? He'll notice that he's actually getting a response now, and that response makes you look like an asshole. So yeah, he noticed he's getting a response now, and he'll start trolling him because you seem to have taken attention to him now. You seem to be giving him a donut. You're not giving him a cake anymore. You're not giving him a piece of cake with, fucking vanilla frosting and stuffed chocolate, I don't know, Oreo ice cream cake. Now you're giving him some fat ass donuts. It's still food nonetheless, and it's a response nonetheless, right? So he'll start trolling again because you seem to have taken attention, but you should keep ignoring him. Keep ignoring him, focus on that game, right? Focus on winning. And at this point, at this point in the game, the enemy will probably also start making their own mistakes. Let me explain that. So they'll probably start to get cocky. They'll probably get cocky. They're 10-0. Maybe they're 10-1. They just happen to dive accidentally on hybriding or, overcommit. They think they're hot shit. They think they're hot shit and they're carrying so hard. But are they really? No, they're not. When you think about it, they're really not carrying that hard if they're 10-0 because Cassidon is just getting fed as a result of someone feeding, right? When you're Vayne, for example, you're Vayne the troll, when he died the first time, Cassidon may have gotten like 200 or 300 gold. How much is it? First Blood's like 240, I think. 240 gold early on. He might have gotten that much, but after that, each time Vayne dies, he's giving up less and less. So eventually, when the enemy's 10-0, they may have only gotten like 600 gold from Cassidon. Only 600 after 10 fucking deaths. But whether or not 600 gold is a lot, or if it's not, it doesn't really matter. What matters is that the Cassidon is 10-0, and he's picked Cassidon. He's like, yo, I'm motherfucking Cassidon. I can rift walk, I can silence, I can force pulse, I can do whatever, I can have 15% magic reduction, and I'm 10-0, and he thinks he's a shit. He thinks he's a shit, and he'll probably start making mistakes now because of it. He'll overextend because he thinks nobody can kill him, in which case you should go at him 2v1 because you're 4v5. So maybe he's a little bit dead, but he'll start making mistakes, and he'll keep making these mistakes because whether he's 10-0 or 10-1 or 10-4, he'll still have a positive score and a lot of kills. So he thinks he can win a game alone. He thinks he's carrying so hard. Even if he's 10-9, he's carrying a game so hard because he got that much kills. And this is predominant in the fucking Bronze or Silver League, because if a person gets a kill, they think they're hot shit. If they get 10 kills, holy shit, right? So use this shit to your advantage. You'll notice a lot of this cockiness in the Bronze and Silver levels, like I said, because people just stop trying hard because they think they've already won the game. There's no reason to focus so much on the CSing, right? Because I'm 10-0, I already have so much more gold than him, right? I've won the game. So use this chance to work together with your team to secure these objectives. Secure those towers, inhibitors, barons, dragons, whatever. Pick people off, such as the Cassidon, because he's overextending, he thinks he's hot shit. And as a result, you've actually utilized the troll, the feeding Vayne, you've actually utilized him to your benefit by fucking up the mental state of that Cassidon, So there's lots of things you could actually do to deal with trolls, and these are just some of the ones I could, quickly think up of maybe 30 minutes. If you want to hear more, comment below in the video. I'll try to think up of some more, and, thanks for watching, man.